Okay, so I wanted to give you a kind of a little run through of how to deal with, say, student responses and how to help those to discussion posts. And I think that's one of the big things, that you want to do within a course is you would like to stay engaged with as many of the students as possible. And obviously, the more efficient you are at that, the more students you can do that with. You can see we have a discussion in this course that exists here. And so I want to create a way to interact with that. And so we're exploring impact net neutrality. I'm just going to go ahead and grab this information for now. Um, I don't think that this part is necessary as far as because that would be for evaluating it that I would put that in there. But this is about responding to it. So I'm going to go here and I've got this ability to create a discussion evaluation or a reply to a discussion. I'm going to go ahead and start that. And so we'll say this is CGS 1060. And then here's the assignment that I'm going to put in there. All right. And then the feedback I'm going to do would be when it says 1 to 2 paragraphs. I'm going to say, you can choose between those. We'll do that. A balanced approach rather than direct or encouraging. That, again, up to you. I want a follow-up question. I want to acknowledge points that they make within their thing and add some insights. Not worried about the resources or course materials. Or any of these. And so now I would say, what would my response to one look like? Call it homework. Obviously, want to take out any of the typos. Uh, it's not helping me, right? Yeah, let's see if we can get basically, there we go. All right. Probably need a comma there. Doesn't matter. It does that kind of stuff. I want to sign off with just my name, Dr. Holbert, uh, just name, and then we have these other settings. So I'm going to generate the prompt. And so notice what it did here is it put this in here. And so you can see this is what it did as far as creating that way that it's going to reply to the student based on what I went through just now with it. And so now I can go ahead and I've got this, and it's the COP 1000, however you want to do it. And so if I want to apply to the student, what I'll do is I'll take this. I'm going to go ahead and grab their whole name. I'm going to copy that, go right into here. I paste it, and then I'm going to run it. I'm going to run it on 4 because 4 is faster. I like 4 better. I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way because I can see better. And I'll run it, see what it does. And, typically I would read his response and then see how did this go about responding to it. And, and really it's up to you as far as do you think this is too, too many paragraphs that read too much like AI, however you want to look at it. The humanizer takes out a lot of stuff, but it doesn't reformat these paragraphs. And so, you can tell it what you want to do. Typically at this point, I would go in here, and if I wanted something changed, I would go in here and tell it, right? You've got guidelines area, you've got your reply should include, you've got your tone, it's put all that stuff in there. And you can see one of the things I could do here is in the guidelines, I could say, try not to make, a lot of different paragraphs, short paragraphs, and things like that if I wanted to do that in there. And so I like it. Let's say I like it. And so I'm going to go like that. I'm just going to save it as I'm going to go discussion, CGS 1060, net neutrality. I think I, so we save it. And now it's going to show up down here, and I can go back to this one anytime that I'm responding to this discussion throughout the week. I don't have to redo this. It's going to show up, and I just copy this, right? Copy it, hit OK. I go back in here, I do a reply, and we've got a nice reply to Alex. Now, could have made, I could have done other things in here, right? As far as what I wanted. The other thing I could have done in this discussion prompt when I was doing it, I could have added my own area of, response length. We've got that. Your reply should include guidelines. I could do stuff like, I think it was horrible that this was, uh, this, the law was defeated. And so giving it some opinion. In fact, I could do a whole thing of uh, and so I've got my opinions now in there. I'm going to save those. I'm going to go ahead and I would be like, okay, I want to save this now. I could run it again, see how it comes out. Now that my opinions are in there a little bit more, um, it's gonna it's gonna introduce those into it. Um, anyway, so now it's got an idea of some of my, and I think this is a little better response that's now been put out. Um, but I could add more and more into that and resave it. It's like I'm going to save it again now as, and now it just overwrites that one. And so I've got it saved with my information again. So the next time that another student was to make a post and I wanted to respond to them, I could just grab it, go in, put it in here, paste it, and then it's over here. I can see it and I can edit it. Once I paste it back in, I can do whatever I want with it. But again, if I don't like the way that things are coming out over here, I can also try, using this one or this one or this one or this one as far as uh, how fast it does, the results that I get, whatever it is. And if I don't want to edit these myself, I can always use AI here and tell it what it is that I didn't like that was going on over here as far as what was being produced. I can tell that, and AI can also go in and make those changes to that prompt that you're putting in there so that that is, done, in a different way. Once it's generated, it's like now I think it's too long. I could put something in there and say, "Hey, I think this is too long." But point is this is how you can quickly create the base for responding to a student in a much faster way with a lot more detail in it and a lot richer content back to those students without appearing like, too much like you're using AI to do it. The more you put into it, right? The more you put into your opinion section, well, down here, the more it becomes you that is responding to this, you know, discussion. Just as an example, I'm going to show you, that the introduction, if you look at my introduction responses, it's got everything about me. It's got me playing games. It's got the kids. It's got my dog. It's got where I've lived. And it's telling, hey, tell them about it, and so you really try to put yourself into these prompts to make them as much like what you would put, the way you would respond to this rather than letting AI do all the work on that.